have to do it. He said the three greatest enemies we have are poverty, militarism, and racism. And those are still our three greatest enemies. And our enemies are people like Jerry Brown and the Democratic Party, and of course the Republicans, who foster racism, militarism, and poverty. We have the richest state in the country. We have one of the richest states in the world. Why are there homeless people? Why are our schools suffering? Why are our prisons filled? Why does the state devote $60,000 per prisoner per year to give to the private prisons and less than $9,000 per student per year? Because the establishment is firmly in the pockets of the profiteers. And it's not going to just be one person in the Capitol, in the governor's chair, that can make these changes. There has to be all of us. It has to be a movement. Yeah! And I belong to the Peace and Freedom Party. The year he was assassinated, Martin Luther King Jr. was going to run for president. Yeah! With Benjamin Spock as his vice president, and he was going to get the nomination of the Peace and Freedom Party. So it has to be social and economic organizing, but we also have to put our hearts and souls into political organizing. We have to get people like us in the seats of power. You know, people who have suffered, people who know what that's about, people who will fight with and for the people, not against them. Not against them like all our politicians do. Yeah!